Today I want to talk to you about capital punishment, specifically about the four types of murderers that we know murder people. Number one, we have professional killers. Professional killers are people who are paid to kill. They belong to gang organizations or mafias or somehow are related to some group where killing is literally their job. They're paid to do that. In fact, if they don't do that, they put their lives at risk. The second type of murderer is serial killers. These people are very sick individuals. They are committed to killing people on a continuing and evolving basis. They're almost impossible to stop in the early stages of their evolvement. And when we do stop them, of course, that puts an end to the tyranny of their killing. The third kind of murderers or killers are premeditated murderers. These are people who think about it. They have a chance to, in a sense, stew about it, to think about the situation, to want to kill someone, to get revenge, or to somehow seek some personal sense of justice. And finally, the fourth kind of killers are killers of passion. They do not intend to kill. They find themselves in mitigating circumstances. Maybe they're at a bar, for instance. Someone gets mad at them, takes a swing at them. They defend themselves and swing back. Person falls on the ground and breaks their neck, breaks their head, and inadvertently dies. These people don't intend to kill people, but in fact they end up killing people. Now, why is this important to the capital punishment argument? Because there's an ongoing discussion about whether the death penalty really deters people from killing. A large segment of the population believes that it does, and a large segment of the population believes that it doesn't. So I want to take some of the politics out of the discussion today, and I want to reveal to you why, for the greater majority of people who commit murder, the death penalty does not deter them from their activity. For example, again, the professional killer. These are people who are paid to kill. This is their job in a sense. They're very good at it, and if they don't do it, their lives literally are at risk. It's called putting out a contract or putting a hit out on someone. The death penalty does not deter them. They are involved in an organization, a gang, and their commitment is to do the business, quote unquote, of the gang. And when that involves taking someone's life, they do it because that's exactly what they're expected or they're paid to do. So the death penalty does not deter them. They know it's on the table. They're rarely caught. When they are caught, they just accept the consequences of their behavior. They're going to be put in prison. They're going to do some major time. They might even forfeit with their life. But again, the death penalty does not deter them from their activity because that exactly is their activity. They are professionally employed to kill people. Number two, serial killers. They're not deterred by the death penalty anyway. They're very deranged people. They get some strange satisfaction that the rest of us can't quite wrap our heads around from killing people, from evolving into killing more and more people. The only thing that stops them is to capture them and or to execute them. They are not deterred as well by the death penalty. Crimes of passion people will cover third. They're not deterred by the death penalty because they don't intend to kill anyone. That's by definition the problem with the killing that occurs when they're involved in it. They have no intent to kill. They might defend themselves. They might feel like they're doing the correct thing. Nevertheless, a death ensues. This may be not the true or heart of the definition of murder. That's why when we discuss murders, we have murder ones, premeditated murders. We have murders two. We have murders three. We can have homicides one, two, and three. Passion murders do not really qualify as premeditated murders. Obviously, they thought about killing someone. Nevertheless, someone's life is forfeited. And oftentimes they are considered murders, but less than a first-degree murder charge. And fourthly, there's premeditated murders. Now, people who are committed to premeditatedly murder someone obviously aren't deterred by the death penalty. They've thought about it. They know the death penalty is on the table. For whatever reason, their sense of justice or revenge overrides any inhibitions they may have about taking another person's life. They think about it. They plan it out. That's why we call it premeditated. And in the end, they execute their plan, and they end up executing and or murdering another individual. Now, I leave them last because there are some instances where people probably think about killing another person, maybe even plan on killing another person, and then through conscience sake and because of the death penalty, they realize that whoever they're angry with, whoever they have thought about killing, they're being killed themselves as murderers is not worth taking the life of someone else. So they do draw back from the action. But for those who cross the line, those who commit premeditated murder, Nothing has changed about the death penalty. It is always on the books. It is there as a law, and the law enforcement people are more than willing to carry out that possible charge should they be found guilty of premeditated murder, and nevertheless they cross the line and they commit murder as well. So in these four cases, professional killers, serial killers, premeditated killers, and people who kill people through crimes of passion, they are not deterred by the death penalty. The people who are deterred by the death penalty are the 90% of us who since birth have been taught to respect the boundaries, the rules that we have previously stated reflect the law, and we, for reasons of safety, personal safety, never decide to put our hairy toes across the line. We are not only deterred from committing murder, we're deterred from speeding, we're deterred from cheating, from robbing, from raping, and all the other do-nots that are represented by the law. So, the death penalty does have a deterrent factor. It works on the 90% of us that are already predisposed to stay within the box, to stay within the rules, to stay within the law. What the death penalty doesn't do, and this is at the heart of the argument about whether or not the death penalty really deters murderers from murdering, when it comes to professional, serial, premeditated, and passion killers, the death penalty does not deter them. So it's a two-sided argument, whether or not the death penalty acts as a deterrent or not. Yes, it does on those of us who are already predisposed not to violate any other laws. On those who are committed to killing people, the death penalty has no effect at all. And it's time that we recognize this distinction. We acknowledge that the death penalty is a deterrent, but it's a deterrent like every other law is a deterrent on the 90% of us who live within the boundaries of the law. And on those that choose to live outside the boundaries of the law, it has absolutely no deterrent effect at all.